Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of the New Players Guide series, where we have covered the most basics that I've explained at the previous episode. However, I felt like the video was very long. We came just out of the tavern where I have explained how skills basically work in general in the game, and how much figure it can consume, which is shown in the purple bar on the left, and how much figure you can recover by purchasing figure food from the clerk or by ordering food at the tavern. Now in this episode we are going to explore the town further, and I will show you other facilities that can be helpful for you when you're doing your voyage. So the next one we go is to the market keeper. That is where the experienced sailor has instructed us to go to. So we're gonna go there. I could have actually clicked on this port icon here, so I could teleport and take the shortcut. I don't know why they actually bring up the specialties here immediately, so it's but to explain the basics, in Market Keeper you can purchase trade goods from them. In each port they sell different kind of trade goods, and some of them are local specialties, which is another topic I will come back into later. But the purpose is to buy at low price and sell at a higher price in a different port to make profit. And profit is one of the main core to gain trade experience, which you will see soon as I gonna try to make some money out of it. Now some examples are given here which trade goods are local specialty goods. I do plan to add the local specialty list later on the episode, so you can always find back which one is which that you can purchase and where it is best to make a profit out of it. This is something that is pretty familiar to me. Like this is that has been explained during the Voyage Academy, which they have cut off from it. But this is way too much detail for a new place to explain. Like, I would not take this, I would not try to stomp this on your head, what you're just seeing here. Like, that is why I feel like these explanations with the new school system is kinda very inconsistent. And here is experienced sailor scan. Now the experienced sailor is referring us to go to the guild, but we have not they have taken a look in all the towns yet. Now the business basics, let's hear him out. So what he's explaining is what I've mentioned before. Get some trade goods from the market keeper and try to sell to another port for a higher price to get some profit to make more money for yourself. Now the market rates is something that we can see in the current port, but we cannot see the ones at the surrounding ports because we lack the skill of it, which I will come back into later. No more questions, sir. Wow, they already bring the topics about rare trade goods. We will come back later about that. That is what I mean. Like, they throw so many information all at once that I feel like those are not immediately necessary for a new place to understand. Like, jeez. Anyways, For the rare trade goods, if we gonna come back later, but let's purchase some trade goods while we can. And since I'm familiar about which trade goods the ports sell in some place, I do kind of know which ones to sell. If you're from Amsterdam, starting from Amsterdam, I will try with Western books, and because the rate is at the lowest here, so the chances are more likely that you can make a profit out of it. And sometimes it doesn't turn out to be a profit if you're unlucky with the rates. You don't need to worry too much about it. Like, these mistakes is something that all of us can make at the start. You will understand as you try to go more into the depth of market rates and purchasing and selling goods. And as you can see, we have also apparently have a message that the Western books is part of the memorial album. Memorial album is something, a list of collections that will be registered here. If you have all the items that are part of the memorial album, you can get a reward out of it, and I will come back more into this later. But just so you know that this is basically a collection list that gets filled when you get an item that belongs to one of those themes here, and more of this will be added here as we progress. Now we go to the Shopkeeper, which is basically the item shop in the facility. And the item shop, we're gonna talk to him. We're gonna ask what he has. Now, as you can see, in item shops, most of them sell equipment and consumables, as well as some recipe books that may be helpful for production, which is another topic that I will bring up later. Now, how do you use items? The item usage is already a bit explained in the first episode. You can use consumable items for use item here, and some of them cannot be used in certain situations, which you will see later. And how do we equip? Well, this is actually that I have instructed at the start of the video on episode 1. So that has been covered. You can check the item shop what he offers. Another random explanation on the sale guide is coming. We can skip it because we have already the information. On item you can see a variety of equipments, and you can see some of them giving formality to make it appear better, and some of them give some defense power. For now I wouldn't bother much about it. And you actually see some of them having an effect on them. Let me see if there is something that we can use. Check on notes. Okay, it doesn't actually show. I thought there was an item here that gives that does give observes, but apparently not here. I'm gonna get dowsing rod. As you can see, we're gonna have this in our inventory, which is something that I'm gonna also explain soon about our inventory. By the way, when you purchase an item from item shop, you can also try it on. You have to make sure that, for example, the nun sabot, you see that this is exclusive to female characters, and some of the male characters which you can obviously not equip. But there is another reason we cannot equip the nun sabot, and that is the lack of fame we have. But we can still try it on to see how it looks like. And if we're gonna we can preview ourselves how it will look on us. And so you can see if you feel like if it looks good on you, you can purchase it. But for now, I won't worry too much as we need to make some money while we start sailing soon. And here are the recipes, and here are some land battle items that I will come back also later. Now let's go to the Pedlar. The Pedlar is you can find them almost at many ports, but not always. But if you find them, they sell products and items that are very helpful for you for yacht, and you can see a lot of items that are important to survive while sailing. And the most important one is our lifesavers. However, I do believe that you still get them once we get into the dock, so we will see about it. But you can purchase a variety of them, and for instance fire buckets, when we use them we can deal against fire. Let's get 2 of these. Carpentry tools. Since I don't have repair skill because I haven't started as Maritimers, these items are very helpful for those who start with adventure or trade. So be sure to have those as well. And 2 of these, and 2 of these, and 2 of these. You can also sell those items also to the Pedlar, and this is something that I may bring up when we are coming to the production. So we have covered the market, item shop, and the Pedlar. Also keep in mind the market keeper has also some market apprentice in capitals, so you can find them on different locations. Let's go to Port Square, and you'll find them the apprentices, which you can also interact by selling or purchasing trade goods. We have one here in Amsterdam. And there are plenty ones in other capital as well, depending on which nation you start. So just so you know, there are more places you can sell other than the market keeper, the trade goods. And always often near the square you have also the interpreter, which sells language notes, and that is something I will bring up later when we do adventure, just to show you how helpful these items can be from the interpreter. And then we go to the bank. Are you here to make a new account before we begin? Let me explain. Now the bank is where you can deposit your money, aka ducats, and as the bank explains, by depositing your money you will also get interest monthly. It is in the beginning quite a lot as a new player, but it won't mean that much when you as you progress through the game. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the interest you receive. As you say, you get it in each 30 days of sailing. Now he's also talking about insurance, and that I have explained under the character information about the insurance crate that we have seen on the right bottom of our information. So he's explaining why you need it, and I'm gonna tell it here as well. In case you get shipwrecked, like incapacitated by disaster, or being sunken by an enemy ship, or being plundered, or in land battle being plundered, some of this loss will be insured. And you can, once that incident happens to you, you can go to the bank and they will give the cash for the insurance that you have covered. That is covered for you, I mean. So we can check the insurance career here. And as you can see, we have the first insurance grade, and we get the compensation of 43k. That's the maximum amount we can get in return in case we lose something what we currently have. You can increase the compensation rate by increasing the grade of the insurance to the point you can get to the maximum that many players have who have graduated. However, keep in mind that the daily cost does increase greatly, so for now grade 1 is fine as it is. Now here we can choose to deposit our money. For depositing we select deposit, and we want to deposit 10,000 ducats, and we can choose to withdraw it, and you can actually withdraw now up to 10k, but you can actually withdraw, I believe, beyond. If you do that, it's shown in red, which you can do, and we cannot do it even in minus 1k. However, it is possible to do that, which I am not certain yet how exactly, but I do not recommend to end up in the red in the bank, because then you are in debt, and as in real life goes, being in debt is not something you want to have. And then you have here the shared storage supervisor, which is something that is actually locked away with cash item again. So for that one, I will come back into much later about it. Aside from Pedlar, you have also the counterpart, the merchant. They sell similar items like the Pedlar does, but then other varieties. And here you can see more items that can be useful for sailing or during the sea battle. And I'm gonna come back later with the rest of them, especially ceasefire agreement, which I cannot right now afford it, but they become later important, so keep that in mind. Now, what else I can show? We have here the quarters, which is your own home that you will eventually get. However, right now it is not accessible, I believe. I have to make sure to check that first. Yeah, we can only visit, so we don't own our quarters yet. And I believe in order to have quarters, you have to reach a certain total level and a total fame. Yes, here you can purchase your quarters. As you can see, we need about 5 million ducats, which is a lot of money from the start, and we need a total level of 30. Like, if there's no class level shown, assume that this is a total level, which you can see if you point your mouse on it, and a total fame. So let's say you have adventure 15, trade 10, and level 5. You will meet the total level requirement, and same for the total fame. That's all combined in order to purchase a quarter, which is another topic you will come back later, especially after graduating. And then you have the company, which is basically the guild. Each capital has you can actually call, well, in all the games it will be called a guild, but in company is basically where you are basically a member of an organization, aka a guild. We call it from all the games perspective, but here you can see the list of guilds. That is in Amsterdam, which we come back also into later. You can also choose make your own company, but that one is not possible. We only allow those that we trust to create companies. For those who get this message when they try to make a company, what it basically means is we lack the formality, and I believe it's at 50 or 60 formality you need to open your own company, and you need also 1 million fee in order to do so. However, it's not advised to do that, because running your own company, aka guild, is very challenging in general. Now we go to one of the estates. each capital and certain post has an S stage. Those are NPCs that where you can learn also skills from it. However, as I've mentioned, when it comes to formality, you can only talk to influential NPCs by having a certain formality requirement. For instance, if I'm gonna try to talk to Mercator, but I may want to learn geography, it's not gonna happen because he will say that he has no time for you, and that is mostly because our appearance isn't great for that. And the same you will see in the Royal Palace, which I will show to you. And the Royal Palace is where you can basically do your investment for the port, and this is something that I will discuss later, but right now we cannot talk to them because we don't have the formality yet. This will become important for later to visit the Royal Palace. Now, then we have also the craft shop. Let's go to the school doorkeeper. Before we go to the craft shop, let me show you when I try to apply through the receptionist. You will see that it will not be accessible for me to use the old school route. And as you can see, they are not accepting it. Which is kind of a shame, because I truly wish Quick gave new players the option to that is the fastest way to get to Voyager Academy. Like with ports here, you can actually teleport to the Voyager Academy if you see them present in the capital or at certain ports. Let's go to the craft shop. The craft shop is a shop where you can purchase items for your ship, or some consumable items that can be helpful for your voyage and to deal with certain disasters as well. Craft shop shares something similar like the item shop, where they sell also recipe books which can be helpful for production. And here you can see some parts that you may think, what are those? Which we will come back into later. Try not to be shocked when you see those. And you have here some mannequins for the quarters. So in the craft shop you can get items that can be helpful for sailing, especially consumables that item shop may not sell, and it sells also some crafting recipe books and the parts that you see that I will come back into later. With that being said, we have covered the most basics about the town map here. The only thing that I haven't shown you yet is the archives and the trainer. These two, well, I will come back later because it will be otherwise too much. Now let's get to the guild. For us, since we started the adventure, we go to the adventure guild. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Before we go into the adventure guild, let me show you the inventory. It is basically your possession that you are currently carrying with you. This is how the inventory looks like in game. And as you can see, this is the outfit that we have received from the start when we created the character. The dagger for the adventure guild master. And the standard gun that we had on our ship already from the start. The plate that we purchased from the shipyard, and some items we have purchased from the peddler or the merchant, and consumable from the clerk. The inventory can be divided in several categories. You have here ownership of the ship shown in paper, the ship deed. And the ship deed does not take away your inventory slot. It is meant to show that which ships you currently have in position. You can also always check it under the ship inventory info aside from the inventory itself. Then you have consumables, which are the figure food and some items that you can use to help you out in the voyage. If you go in the use items, you see now more consumables showing up. But certain consumables cannot be used, like what the peddler did explain, like, or the item shop has explained. Your own killer can be only used when you're at sea and when a disaster strikes, which is so keep in mind that some of those consumables are not usable, and even if they are listed, nothing will happen sometimes. And then you have ship parts, which are these, which will always show under the ship parts inventory here, which you can use to equip your ship parts. And these are the ones that with the E icon shows that you are equipping those ship parts, and same goes for equipment. And aside from this inventory, you have also two buttons here. You have the store, and as you can see, you see here 4 more slots, which may be confusing. The captain bag is basically an extra bag you have where you can store your consumables. So I can, for instance, say I'm gonna put these two here, and then you have more inventory space for yourself, which can be helpful for if in case you have some trouble carrying your consumables. The binder is used to, yes, I also highlighted here you can store your recipe books and maps, which I will come back to later because we have none of those right now. Documents is basically, which I will also come back into later, what can be stored here. So that is what you have aside from your inventory that you can store. And then here you see the item protection. Now, in case you want to discard to remove something from your inventory, you can discard it, and let's say we want to discard this bell. It's gonna be dropped on the ground, and you see discard unnecessary item. Now we have 1 extra space. Most items that are discovered in port or lands can be retrieved back through search kill, which we currently have. And if in case this happens in the sea, you can retrieve that at some point by using recognition. Not everything can be retrieved back, to just keep that in mind. Also, in case you want to prevent something accidentally being discarded in your inventory, you can use item protection. The item protection is basically a purpose to prevent you from discarding the item. So let's say those dowsing rods that you have purchased. Now you see a key icon being shown, and if you want to discard it, it's grayed out. So we cannot discard this anymore, so you make sure that you make no accidental mistake. As you can see in the box from discarding, you can also discard your ship deeds, but only for the ship deeds that you are not currently sailing with. I don't usually recommend to do that, unless you have in the future, when you are a full-fledged voyager, you have some ships that you truly not need. Maybe you can do it, but in overall, I wouldn't do it myself. Now, you have also the strong box here, and that is basically inaccessible. It's basically also cache locked, so which I will come back much later into it. So if you see this, I wouldn't be concerned while you're just starting the game. So that is the inventory. Oh yes, also we're gonna check our cargo soon. But first let's enter the guild. Now we are here in the guild, and as the experienced sailor instructed, we are supposed to take a quest now from the adventure guild. And quests can be taken by the mediators on each guild, and some of those mediators are also outside in the guilds in the capital, which you have probably seen some of them while we are walking around. You have adventure, trade, and maritime type of discoveries. And for adventures, basically, most of the quests lead you to a discovery that you appreciate for the client by gathering clues and then go for the discovery. Merchant quest is basically that often involves some communication and item deliveries, which we come back to later. And maritime quest is basically often focused on defeating the targeted NPCs, which we will also go into later. And here the game tells you where you can find the quest under journal and quests. Okay, they are bringing up something about a cultural contribution, which I think that is a bit too much to be explained for new players. So that is another thing that I don't like about the new system. Because personally, that is more relevant if you are actually graduating, then the cultural contribution is something that plays a more important role. As the sailors just said, by completing the quest, you will get the amount of adventure XP, fame, and certain items depending on the quest you do. Now let's take the quest from here, and then you can see some quests listed here. But the most important quest that you have to take for as a new player when you get back to the guild is always to get this one, first job for the guild, because this quest will gives us an endorsement at the end, which is something very important to have. You can see the location of the quest, you can see the details of the quest, which is very important to read because it tells you often where you have to be once you take the quest. And you can see here the reward, which is 3000 ducats. And you can see the advance, which is 0. Advance is basically whenever there's an amount here given, whenever you take the quest, the mediator pays you in advance. This money gets returned once you decide to cancel the quest. And quest has sometimes also an expiration, which is not the case here, which I will explain later when we do an exploration quest, that there are some important things to know. Remaining in fights, this is something that is fleet related, which we will also come back later about it. You can here see the difficulty given in star from 1 star to 10 star. We have the easiest, and you see the required skills showing up here. And these required skills shows that you need those skills in order to complete the quest. For language skill, it's not always the case. However, for search skill or other adventure skill or trading or battle skill, you may need those skills by yourself in order to progress. So keep in mind, whenever you pick a quest where you don't have the requirement, make sure that you have some ways to cover it up. Otherwise, you may get stuck and then you have to cancel it. Let's take the quest, and you can find the quest back from below the chart on the quest, and here you can see the quest popping up from our journal. You can see the interface here. Also on the chat here we can see it's a bonus quest. Bonus quest appears here with the D. This is something that I will also explain later. This is somewhat, I'm not sure if this is coincidence. Now, the first thing that we have to do is go to the church near the palace in London, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And also, some quest gives a quest hint that is just being mentioned. Once you do this, the game tells you where to go next, and here it says next goal for the quest. Insert quest name is London Bishop. So we have to go to London. Now let's go outside. Now it's time to go to the docks. In order to go to the docks, you have to interact with the port guide or the port official at the harbor. Now let's go to the port official. Sorry. Now the port official is gonna explain again about the port permit. Like that is, it makes sense. It's like in real life back in history that sailors cannot enter the port without permit to ensure that their identity are verified, which is same with passports we have in real life, where we can go. Now, how do I get port permit? Port permit is basically, as I've mentioned earlier, if you have more fame, you will be able to receive more port permits, and how he will I will show it to you later. Now you see here several options. And most of these options I wouldn't be concerned about. You want to set sail, so we go to the port, aka the docks. Now, this is something I actually not gonna bring up. Like it already mentioned about hostile waters, which I don't know why they bring that up, because at the start we are not going near that area at all. But I will bring that topic back later. Ah, nice! They do actually give lifesavers. The port officer explains again about lifesavers, and as I've mentioned early, in case your ship becomes incapacitated by having your durability become 0, or when you have no sailors, you won't be able to do anything, and you are basically a sitting duck at the sea. But just to note, if your total level is below 20, you will be automatically recovered when you become incapacitated. However, when you reach a total level of 20 or higher, this feature is removed for you. So the only way to be recover yourself is by either having lifesavers or a rescue skill. Always have lifesavers with you in case you have no rescue skill with you. Now, before we set sail, let's check our supply. You can see the amount of water and food we have here. And you can see that the amount of days it's worth with the supply. So 20 days means that you can sail that this supply is plenty for 20 days sailing without your sailors running out of water or food. The amount of timber we have here is used to repair our ship, and ammunition is used to fire out our cannons. We can fill our supplies here whenever we need. However, we are currently full because we have purchased some trade goods. It is a good moment to bring that up as well. The cargo. On the cargo, you can check the supplies you have here. The supply is given here in a bar as blue, which you can, if you point your mouse, you can see the hold that shows the supplies on the left, and on the right, which is the red bar, are the trade goods that we have just purchased in Amsterdam, which you can see here. And we can employ our sailors here as well. Okay, but we have currently no sailors. I do recommend at the start to hire normal sailors, as these two are still pretty expensive at the moment. But as you go further into the game, I do recommend to get experienced sailor. There are some that still get novice sailor for certain purposes that I may come back into it. And we can here change our ship, but we have only one ship in our possession, which I will also talk about it. There's, by the way, another way to employ your sailors, and we go back to the harbor, and we probably get a discovery, because yes, I was right. We have received a discovery card in Amsterdam. As an adventure, you will receive a variety of discovery cards that you make, and port discovery is one of those. And we will talk about more later, but you can find it under the discovery tab from record and here. Here you can find the cards back, and as you can see, we have gained some adventure XP. Adventure XP is basically gained aside from quest also by getting discoveries, or by doing some collections, which I will come back later, or sailing distance, etc. So all these factors I will be mentioning how you get the XP. Now let me show you something in the tavern that I haven't covered yet. We have here the merchant and the seafarer. You can offer them a drink to give them information, and you can see they will always give some information that can be very helpful. So if you are new and you're curious about some new information, you can always have a drink with them, and they can, like the barkeep, they will always give you that can be something useful to you. And as you can see, this guy has just explained to us that we can catch a large amount of herring near the area of Dover, same with rockfish. You can here dismiss and employ sailors, aside from being at the docks. So you can always do it here as well in case you prefer to do it at a tavern. Let's get back to the port. Talk to her official, and now we are back here. I think that is where we're gonna end the second episode of the series. We have covered quite a lot, the rest of the town mostly, with the facilities and how to start up the quest and purchasing the bay, how to purchase trade goods. All of them has been covered so far in this episode, and as promised, I want to share the table of content that I was supposed to share at the first episode in an introduction, what my plans are. Keep in mind that this will probably deviate in practice what I will be doing. Maybe I will cover something more, and some of the parts here may not be covered, depending on how long the episodes will go. Regardless, for the next episode we will sail for the first time here, and to be continued. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next episode. Cheers!